1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister says providing facilities to the business community is a prime objective of the government. The Information Minister has said promotion of economic activities is a priority of the government. The Special Assistant on Poverty Alleviation says SARS is the biggest program in the country's history in terms of ensuring social protection to the deserving people. A delegation from the American Embassy, in a meeting with the Interior Minister in Islamabad today, pledged to further strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has said India is imposing colonial laws to change Muslim majority into a minority in the territory. The Afghan Taliban have welcomed the announcement by the US President on pulling out American troops from Afghanistan by Christmas. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government is working on elimination of unnecessary regulations and improving the tax system to facilitate the business community. Talking to a delegation of leading industrialists of the country in Islamabad today, he said a series of meetings with the business community will be held so that the process of reforms and facilitation can further be pursued. Members of the delegation appreciated the Karachi package, the government's policy and initiatives for industry and promotion of small and medium enterprises in the country. Prime Minister Imran Khan says provision of job opportunities to the youth and enhancing exports are amongst the top priorities of the government. He was chairing a meeting of the National Coordination Committee for Small and Medium Enterprises in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister said promotion of small and medium enterprises will play a vital role in achieving targets in these priority areas. The Prime Minister directed the Minister for Industries to finalize at the earliest a roadmap based on timelines in consultation with the provinces regarding the implementation of the proposed small and medium enterprises policy. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said the incumbent government's manifesto is to practically serve the masses. In a statement, the Prime Minister said the government organizations should be bound to serve the people as governance system is linked to better coordination between the government organizations. Government officers have been directed to register complaints of the aggrieved segments through their dashboards. The officers have also been given special instructions to facilitate senior citizens, widows, women and special persons. Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi has appreciated Pakistan's reconciliatory efforts for the establishment of peace in Afghanistan. She lauded Pakistan's efforts during a telephonic conversation with the Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi today. On the occasion, both the foreign ministers discussed matters of mutual interest, bilateral relations, including economic and trade cooperation. The Information Minister, Senator Syed Shibli Faraz, has said promotion of economic activities and provision of business-friendly environment is the priority of the government. Addressing a ceremony in Islamabad today, he said incentives have been provided for exports to increase economic activities. The minister said the government curtailed its expenses and reduced imports to stabilize the economic conditions. Highlighting the importance of arts in promoting positive image of the country globally, he said the government is providing opportunities to promote creative skills. The Special Assistant on Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Sania Nishtar, says SARS is the biggest program in the country's history in terms of ensuring social protection to the deserving people by providing them financial assistance. Addressing an international webinar, she said the trend of transferring money digitally has increased in the context of corona pandemic. She said under the cash transfer program, money was transferred to 15 million deserving people. The webinar series is hosted by the Ministry of National Development Planning, Republic of Indonesia in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the World Bank. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, says the Pakistan Navy has played a vital role in defending the maritime frontiers as well as securing economic interests of the country by providing security to Gwadar Port and CPAC sea routes. This he stated during a meeting with the newly appointed Chief of the Naval Staff, Admiral Mohammad Amjad Khan Niazi, who called on him in Islamabad today. This is Radio Pakistan. A delegation from the American Embassy, led by Angela Aguilera, called on Interior Minister Ijaz Ahmad Shah in Islamabad today. The American delegation on the occasion offered to formulate a bilateral strategy on issues of mutual interest. The meeting concluded with a pledge to further strengthen bilateral relations in future. The Interior Minister said relations between the two countries could further be strengthened through bilateral meetings and discussions. The Pakistan Navy ship Zulfikar participated in passage exercise with South Korean Navy ship Daejeon Jeong. Both the ships are patrolling in the Gulf of Aden as part of international efforts to counter piracy and ensure security of shipping and vessels transiting through the vital area. The passage exercise covered various operational serials to enhance interoperability and augment collaborative efforts to ensuring practical maritime security in the region. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has said India is imposing colonial laws to change the Muslim majority into a minority in the territory. APHC General Secretary Maulvi Bashir Ahmed, in a statement in Srinagar, said the Kashmiri people living especially near the military camps are being forcibly evicted from their properties to settle Indian Hindus, mostly Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh and Bharatiya Janata Party workers. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference leader reiterated that the Kashmiris would resist India's nefarious agenda to change the demographic composition of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, issuance of domicile certificates to non-residents, construction of hundreds of thousands of houses for non-locals, and massacre of the youth in the territory. At the United Nations, Pakistan has called on the world community to demand India to halt its human rights abuses in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Speaking during a general debate of the General Assembly's Third Committee, Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Munir Akram, also asked the international community to pressure India to implement United Nations Security Council resolutions guaranteeing inalienable right to self-determination to the Kashmiri people. The Pakistani envoy underscored that the right of peoples to self-determination is the bedrock of international relations. He said India has, by obfuscation and oppression, denied the inalienable right of self-determination to the people of Jammu and Kashmir for 7 decades. Munir Akram said 1.5 million Indian settlers have been issued domicile certificates to transform the illegally Indian-occupied Kashmir from a Muslim-majority state into a Hindu-majority territory. The Taliban have welcomed an announcement by the US President Donald Trump on pulling out the American troops from Afghanistan by Christmas. Spokesman for the Taliban, Mohammad Naeem, said in a statement that it is a positive step towards the implementation of Doha Agreement. Earlier, the American President Donald Trump, in a tweet, said remaining American troops in Afghanistan should return home by Christmas. The United Nations has condemned the recent clashes in Yemeni city of Hodeidah, which have left dozens killed and wounded, urging the country's warring parties to immediately stop the fighting. The United Nations Special Envoy to Yemen, Martin Griffiths, in a statement said the military escalation not only constitutes a violation of the Hodeidah ceasefire agreement, but it runs against the spirit of the ongoing United Nations facilitated negotiations that aim to achieve a nationwide ceasefire. And finally, the weather. Mainly hot and dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.bk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.